Hello everyone, and greetings from London, where the sun is shining rather unusually. This is a short video about completion, which I mentioned in my podcast. It's described in chapter 3 of The Power of Letting Go, which was published a couple of years ago. It's 10,000 years old, arguably, and comes from the Hindu scriptures. Paramashiva gave the technique to Parvati. And Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, otherwise known as Swamiji behind me, gave a technique to put this into practice. And the principle is very simple, but most people get it wrong, which is why I'm making this video. The principle is that we have all stored pain in our bodies due to painful experiences between the ages of 2 and 7. This is very similar to what Sigmund Freud and many other people said. I did Freudian psychoanalysis for a while in my mid-20s, and we identified all the problems. We didn't solve any of them. So when I came across Swamiji 7 years ago, I was very excited because I realized he had a solution to the problem. And what most of us are doing in the world is we're trying to manifest things that we want. We do visualization, we have vision boards, we set goals, we do all that stuff. But unfortunately, we're putting all these positive thoughts on top of a continuous stream of negative ones, which is generated by our pain patterns. So the question is, how do we get rid of these pain patterns, otherwise known as samskaras or incompletions? And the answer is that we go back to the earliest time in our childhood that we can remember this pain pattern. So an example that I give in the book was, for a long time, eventually I realized I had this pain pattern about being unacceptable, which many people have. And I realized by looking inwards, that went back to my first day at school when I spoke in this accent, which is a Southern English accent, and my classmates and the teacher had Leicester accents. So they laughed at me and I felt unacceptable. So the way to get rid of that pain pattern is to go back, and you don't recall it or remember it, you go back and you relive it. So for example, in that case, I go back, you can either close your eyes or you can look at yourself in the mirror. I got on fine just closing my eyes. I close my eyes, I become 5 years old again, and I relive the whole experience as vividly as I can. So the sounds, holding my mother's hand, sunny day, lots of children running around. I arrive in the classroom, I start speaking and people laugh at me, and I feel unacceptable. So what you do is you relive that intensely at least 5 times, and you just allow all the emotions to come out. There's no need to force it. This is the important thing. It's like squeezing pus out of a wound. That may sound a bit grotesque, but what we're doing is we're removing pus from the wound so it can heal. And if you do this several times, what I've noticed, because I've done this with many painful incidents, is at some point there's a change in my body. I'm no longer agitated or triggered by anything to do with that incident. So that's what you do. You relive it intensely several times, at least 5 times. A good time to do this is first thing in the morning or last thing at night. And when I did this intensely 7 years ago, I carried on doing it for several weeks. And I was walking across Hyde Park in London, and I suddenly realized that my mind was empty. And the next time I saw Swamiji in India, I told him about this, and he gave me a big grin and a thumbs up. And I realized I was on the right path. Since then, I've applied this technique with 2 other incidents before the age of 7, and the effect on my life has been dramatic. So I encourage you to do this for yourself. Various other Western authors have started marketing this technique recently. I would say it's far more powerful to do it in the presence of an avatar or an incarnation, which is what Swamiji is. So his job is to lead us to enlightenment, and completion is a very, very valuable tool for doing that. So I encourage you, you can get the book. He also has videos on YouTube. If you just type in Nityananda, Nityananda, which means eternal bliss, type in Nityananda and completion into YouTube, and you'll find lots of helpful videos. So I wish you every success in removing your incompletions, creating whatever you want in life, and becoming enlightened. Thank you.